All right, so with that stated, I mean, we can all kind of give our thoughts about the entertainment value of Canelo, of his standing as a top pound for pound. But let's look ahead a little bit and talk about where he stands now, not only within the landscape of 168, but we can also look at just what's his next challenges. Be that it might be B-ball, but let's start with Coach Dave. And what do you think is the kind of natural progression for Canelo Alvarez?
Man, you know what? I'm definitely gonna just let y'all guys kind of go on that thing, because only thing on my mind with it, and the reason why I'm saying I'm gonna let y'all really talk about the natural progression, I'm gonna just more so talk about shit or get off the potness. All right, so and I hate to be hating on him so much, man, but I'm saying, look, dude, if you ain't fighting Morrell, if you ain't talking about Benavidez, if you ain't talking about Charlo, Charlo, I just don't know what you're doing, man. I really got no more tolerance for this dude, man. So listen, if you want to fight, build up that record, and I can't sit here and say what I know he's going for. If you want to say the legacy and stuff is there, that's fine. Or is he just fighting for the loot? I mean, Canelo is Canelo. He did his thing. He came up. Bivol and who Mayweather. What 2 losses or whatever.
Yeah,
I got
and 2 losses, 2 draws.
It's just I can't talk about this guy in terms of saying here's what he's going to do, here's what he's going to do, because I am one of those fans of boxing that where hear me out, man, just shit to get off the pot.
So, Coach, with that stated, so I mean, you've always talked about loot, loot or legacy. That's what fighters,
right,
especially high level fighters at this point.
Exactly.
So do you think that he is, because he has the loot, right? He's like he's on the top 5 for Forbes highest paid athletes. Do you think that he is trying to protect his legacy at this point?
Cam, that's a real talk, Professor Neal. That's a great point. I would honestly say, yes, not only is he trying to protect that legacy, man, but it's cool if he want to continue to make that loot. But also Canelo is one of them fighters where I'm not gonna say whoever said he was washed up. I know people out there saying that. I'm not gonna say that, but he's getting old. He's getting towards it. He's getting older. Put it that way.
Yeah, older. Yeah.
So honestly, man, I mean, I think you can't knock him for being smart. You get what I'm saying? And we all might want to see jokers go out with a bang. So let me be crystal clear, man. I think he hit it on the head, man, in terms of protecting that legacy, because any of the 3, Morrell, Andrade, one of the Charlo boys, or the 4, but he ain't winning. He's not winning. So yeah. So it's hard for me to see and say he could do this, because I'm just like, dude, drop that turd, white, and get on off the pot, man.
Yeah, and I think that's important when you were saying that he's older, because we have to realize that Canelo is, he's younger than Tyson Fury, than Wilder, Joshua, Spence, Crawford. And when we think about, because he's been around for so long, we don't realize that he's younger than him and Jamal Charlo are actually the same age. They're 32 years old. But he might be older when it comes to ring age.
Right.
In there.
Right.
And then so, at this point, right, I think that he is only fighting against the ghost of Julio Cesar, Chavez or whatnot, right? He wants to be recognized as the greatest Mexican, boxer, right, in history. It is, and like that's what a lot of people kind of harped upon, right? They kind of jumped upon. Like I don't know if it was Oscar, but it was somebody just. I think it was Oscar. It was just like he will never be, Julio Cesar Chavez, in there, and I think that he's got the accolades. He's been at one point recognized as the top boxer. I mean, as the top rated boxer in there. He's been undisputed, multi-level champion. He's made over $500 million out there. And so I think that he's just kind of fighting for, to be recognized as the greatest Mexican boxer in history. But with that said, the Cajo ran. So what do you think that is next for, Canelo? And, what do you think he's fighting for at this point?
I think just he fight for legacy, but to your first part, and I hate to say it, he's not fighting any of those dangerous guys in no time soon. Even if rumors are correct that he fights Bivol, he's going to fight Bivol at 175. So therefore, even when he loses at 175, he's still the 168 champion. And then if he comes back to 168, you're looking at Berlanga or someone like that. I don't see him fighting. I don't see him being forced, and I don't see him taking any of the dangerous fights at 168. At this point, I don't even know why he's still holding on to the belts, because Canelo's still going to be a draw and it's still going to be Canelo, even if he says, look, hey, I'm going up to 175 to fight Bivol. I'm going to let these 168 titles go.
Because he's undisputed. He gets more money. He gets to negotiate for more money if he says he's the undisputed.
He gets to negotiate for more money because his name. Mayweather negotiated for his money, and he never been undisputed.
Yeah, but he wasn't. I don't think this kid he's not the commodity that Floyd was, especially at the peak of Mayweather.
How isn't he?
I don't know how the numbers break down or whatever, but I mean, Floyd was Floyd, man.
It was guaranteed you were going to make $10 million when you fight Canelo. No matter what belt he had, you get the 10 mil, I'm going to get the 40 mil. That was before he was undisputed.
Right, but I don't know that he's going to get the same amount of money. He took a pay cut for this fight.
Yeah, he took about $10 million.
Right. But what I'm saying is that, I think that you could be right. You could be right. Maybe he does make the same without those 4 belts, without being active undisputed.
I don't think. All right, let's talk Tank Garcia. There was no undisputed at stake there, and then it shits on Haney.
But it was a huge event though, and everyone believed it would be a huge
Canelo makes it a huge event, not the belts.
Well, it depends, like you said in the last segment, it depends on where you put him, and it depends on who he's fighting. Tank sells out against guys. Tank filled out not the Coliseum. Where the Lakers play? What's the name of that?
I understand what you're saying.
Against the guy nobody had heard of, and Isaac Cruz.
Crypto.
Canelo is Canelo, bro. I still put him as the face of boxing because of who he is.
Yeah, but we seen him. He didn't sell out against Triple G.
Nobody say, man, he's the face of boxing because he's undisputed. No, he is the face of boxing because of who he is. He don't need those belts, man. That's why I'm like, man, just let him go, and then you can pick and you can cherry pick into retirement.
I think he might disagree with you. I think he believes he needs those belts. Otherwise, why not just vacate? And I think you will. I think you will.
So you're saying that he's gonna. So since he loves those belts so much, that he's gonna take. He's going to take the Benavidez, the Morrell fight next.
No, I don't think he's going to take either of those fights next. I think you'll see him probably vacate.
What about ever? What do you think about ever?
What do you mean ever?
Will he take the Charlo?
No, there's no reason for him to fight them.
Well, Charlo, I could drop a little inside info for y'all. Charlo's people apparently reached out to Golden Boy either last week or the week before, about setting up some sort of deal to fight Munguia, I believe, and someone else. So Charlo might not be too far-fetched of a fight. That might be something
So
that's.
where he fighting Munguia at 160 or 168?
I didn't get that information, but the information I did get was that apparently someone from his team reached out to Golden Boy about
it might have
about a
been
Munguia
because
fight.
Oscar has advocated for Charlo to be stripped by the WBC
Yep.
for his
As he should.
interim title, and then he wants the Munguia versus Derevyanchenko
As he should
to fight for the title.
Yeah, this motherfucker been sitting around for 2 years now, holding that belt hostage.
Yeah, but on the flip side, Munguia don't deserve a sniff at anything.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. But it's a big fight. You put that fight in Texas, and people gonna show up for that fight.
Yes.
People are gonna and like, what is it, Dave? If it makes dollars, it makes sense, right?
If it make dollars, it makes sense, man. You know?
Yeah, and that's that's a big event down there in Texas, or especially Charlo's from Texas apparently. Wherever Shreveport, wherever he's from, they'll show up for that fight. But so Charlo might not be too far-fetched of an option. I've been telling y'all for months now that they're lining up that Berlanga fight.
Yeah,
I've been saying that.
That's just a farce of a fight.
Berlanga's gonna have to have
nobody cares
a
about
significant fight to justify him being a opponent. So who is he gonna fight next? That's gonna bring his name into the
against anybody significant, and his ass might lose.
Exactly. So I don't see Canelo can't call out Berlanga tomorrow.
No, he can't. He can't call out. He can't call out.
He has to have a significant win like within the next 3-4 months.
Yeah.
But, I mean, but like let's not get too far, right? So we know that Canelo is fighting in September, right?
Well, presumably, right? I don't think that he's missed that date before, but sure, we'll let's go with that premise. Yeah.
What is his fight going to be? Who is his opponent going to be at this point?
If he fights in September, then it has to be Bivol.
Yes, and he's gonna have to put up or shut up for that fight, because what I was told was that Bivol is not moving off of that 168-pound. He wants to fight for undisputed. He gave Canelo a free shot at his belt at 175 pounds.
Well, he didn't give him
he was grossly underpaid. You said
what? What do you mean? Like, Canelo had knocked out Kovalev to win a title.
He vacated that belt. He vacated that belt years ago. He vacated that belt shortly after he won it.
Yeah.
So that wasn't he wasn't ranked at 175. He was undisputed, and that gives him the right to fight for no, it really doesn't, because it's the WBA. It don't work like the WBO, right? He waved his hands, and the sanctioning bodies did whatever he wanted. He gave them a shot, and Bivol gave him a shot at his belt. And
I think that I mean, I don't necessarily agree, but I mean, if you are the pro, the so-called face of boxing, and somebody wants to but to challenge you for that, then you take on that challenge. I think whoever had that belt at light heavyweight was going to take on that challenge of Canelo. But I thought that Canelo, and I was wrong. I thought that Canelo had some sway because he had a title at 175, but apparently he had that title.
Yeah,
zero.
Man, whatever happened? Did Makabu lose?
Yeah, what's it called? Badu Jack beat him.
Oh, okay.
Badu Jack went up there and stopped that motherfucker.
Okay, because
he saw the same thing Canelo saw.
Makabu.
Yeah.
No,
they actually didn't allow that fight.
Yeah. It was a whole bunch of.
Yeah,
the zone wasn't going to pay.
The zone was like, no, we're not paying you 40-something million for this fight right here. They actually kind of put their foot down, in one instance. So to me, it seems like we're talking about a fighter who is in the twilight of his career at this point.
it might not be his twilight. It might be like it's time for you to start fighting real, like live, like people, like 50-50 fights.
I mean, to be fair, like he's done that before, right? Like, let's not. I mean, at one point, Canelo Alvarez had one of the best resumes in boxing.
I mean,
Right?
He still might.
Yeah,
But
so I don't want to like let to kind of have this short-term memory now. Like,
yeah,
let's not.
It's been a while since he had a 50-50 fight.
Well, most guys, I mean, we got to go back a ways to see guys who are consistently fighting 50-50 fights, right? If we go back and look at some of the all-time greats, most of those guys are, I mean, Floyd was the favorite in almost every single fight he was in. If you look at all 49 of the fights, I don't count the McGregor fight. If you look at all 49 of those fights, he's almost always the favorite. So I don't know that
It's up against
50-50 fights is the right barometer.
Yeah.
Well, it can be 50-50 and you still can be the favorite, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Floyd is Floyd, it can still be that. I think I hear what Randy is saying, and I definitely hear, Canelo, you can't take away from some of the people that he done waxed up on that thing. But going back to full circle to, you trying to be the daggone greatest, I don't know how many fights Chavez got, man. They probably got 100 million fights. He like,
yeah.
He got about 80. I think he got about 85 fights, 80 to something like that.
Man, he got over 100.
Does he have over 100 fights? Damn. Okay.
Yeah. Hula.
But that boy got over 100 fights, dog. He might got over 110 fights, dog. Don't quote me on that. You know what I'm saying? Don't quote me on that. But he got over 100 fights. And so, whoever said, yeah, man, he trying to fight for that legacy. If he's not going to get that many fights. So you got to whoop as much ass if you want that to try to get that title, man. And let me tell you something. You let Canelo dust off one of the Charlos. You let him dust off, Morrell's, his little low record. You let him come back and he whooped Benavidez ass. That joker, then guess what? I'm wearing a sombrero for
Nah.
That's what I'm talking about. You let him knock off Andrade, you let him knock off Charlo, Morrell, and Benavidez. He knocked them four off all our mouths.
If he knocked those four off right there, then
all our mouths.
he is the
That's
best
right.
fighter.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He's the best fighter of his generation. He's going to be recognized as the best Mexican fighter of all time. I don't know if he has the wherewithal or the gumption to do that, and I don't necessarily know at this point, or if even ever, if he has the skill and ability to do that.
Yeah. I don't think that he ever did. Otherwise, you'd have seen them fights. You said what, Dave?
No, I just said that's what I'm saying. It's greatness. He can fight for it all he wants to. He's never gonna be looked at better than Chavez.
Yeah. Now, if Canelo Alvarez thinks he can beat you, or he knows he can beat you, you'll get the fight. If he's not sure he can beat you, you're not gonna get it. You're not gonna because he told Boo Boo. He told him, you're not gonna get the fight, bro. Just get out of here. Like, get the fuck out. You're not gonna get the fight.
He told Boo Boo, you just want payday.
Well, everybody wants payday, right? Like, isn't that why we all in this motherfucker, right?
He said, you just want payday.
Hell yeah, he want payday. I would want payday too. Why the fuck wouldn't I want a payday?
And he said it in English too.
So he did. He did.
Somebody schooled him on that. He was just like, you just want payday.
It was pretty
get the fuck out of here.
Julio Cesar Chavez, 107 fights, six losses and 2 draws, huh? Jesus Christ.
And you slide down and look at some of the names on that thing, man, and Medrick Taylor's and stuff like that. Look at the names on that joker. So,
got some good ones. He got some unknowns too. Had a lot of unknowns on that motherfucker. But
I mean,
definitely got some good ones.
107, it's like, but it's like
fights, dog.
A lot of fights. That's a lot. It is a lot of fights. It is definitely a lot of
Yeah,
fights.
so
He's got a
some-
lot of serious names on there. Definitely a
So
lot.
that's hey, I said if you ain't gonna get that amount of fights, you better just leave to go for the amount of whoop ass. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, be proud of that money. Your money laps, Chavez.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it definitely, but not in the legacy department. It's going to be real interesting to see, given what I know about Bivol and his relationship with the guys over there at DAZN and Matchroom. He's not on anybody's Christmas card list over there. He is, I don't want to call him a pariah. I think that might be the wrong word, but he ain't. That they can't wait for him to not have that belt anymore.
I mean, it's easy. Well, I'm not saying it's easy, but you set him up with a fight against Benavidez, and then either he loses that belt or he becomes an instant star. Like this guy is able to beat a monster.
No, that's the problem. That's the problem. He's just not. The guy doesn't speak English, and he doesn't have a style that's appealing to a casual audience. I mean, Josh Taylor was undisputed with tremendous wins, and nobody cared. Right? Just nobody.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't. Yeah, I mean, I gotta say their styles are similar, but I thought, Bivol speaks some English now.
He speaks some, not enough to be some kind of star. I mean, if they couldn't make Lomachenko a star, I don't see how they're gonna make. And Lomachenko's got a much more fan-friendly style than Bivol does.
But I you wouldn't consider Lomachenko a star. I wouldn't say a superstar. I think he's a.
Nah, they wouldn't be selling $50 pay-per-views if he was some kind of star. This guy fighting over at the MGM Grand over here at Oxon Hill, man. It's 2,000. How many seats over there, Dave?
The MGM, man. I saw Lomachenko fighting there too, man.
Really?
I don't know if
It's only 3 sides. It's only like 3 sides. It's against the wall, so it ain't that many people.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no. They've tried. People have tried with these Eastern European deals, man. They're just better beats the shit out of everybody, knocks everybody out. And you walk down the street and ask people who better be, and nobody knows who this guy is.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that I think to the casual's point, I think that's just the state of we have too many superstar athletes. At one point, Tyson Fury was able to walk through the streets of the US and ask people about Wilder, and they didn't know who he was, and he was the heavyweight champion.
Yeah. The point is, if those guys are still relatively obscure, this guy Bivol beating another obscure guy in Beterbiev is not going to make him any more popular. 1, 2, he gets in there and he loses to Beterbiev, which I think he does. I think Beterbiev stops him. Then you lose that belt to to ESPN. And that's the other side of it too. Beterbiev is a 3-belt unified, right? So Beterbiev's not coming over to DAZN. They would have to send Bivol over to ESPN to fight him over there, and that doesn't do DAZN or the people that I don't even know how Bivol is affiliated. But they're not going to do that. They don't want to do that. And the guy, nobody's interested in seeing this guy fight. Is what he's just so unfortunate because he's a very, very good fighter. But
let's to close this out. Like let's just pick a name. I'm just gonna go around each of the pundits or whatnot because we're getting close to that time, and just tell me who on Mexican Independence Day, which is in September, who do you think that Canelo Alvarez is gonna step through the ropes to face? And we'll start with the casual Rand.
I think it's gonna be Bivol. Just because he has a built-in excuse when he loses. Money talks. I mean, Bivol's gonna say he wants to fight at 168, but when Canelo offer him that 10, 15 mil, he's gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna fight at 175. And then when he beats Canelo gonna be like, all right, man, I tried to go to 175. That's a bridge too far. I'm only 5'5", for Christ's sake, or however tall he is. So he's gonna go back and be the champion at 168, which is sad because then he's gonna go fight. Was this fight mandatory or was it
The Ryder fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ryder
Yeah.
fight was mandatory. It was a mandatory defense.
So his next one, 168 fight can be just a title defense. So he can choose whoever he fights in 168 next.
He
right?
can fight a voluntary.
Like a voluntary at 168.
He can, but he would risk being stripped. I think he would risk being stripped by another sanctioning body if he didn't defend.
Who's gonna strip Canelo when he's giving them millions?
Well, I think the WBC might elevate him to franchise champion. And I think you might see an organization like the IBF. They could do it too.
I don't see them stripping them. So therefore, I'm sad to say that, and for the remainder of 23 and deep into 24, Canelo ain't gonna fight. Bivol is gonna be his only fight where he's gonna fight and lose, and then after that,
Bivol wants 20 mil, by the way.
Wow.
Give it to him.
So,
He's already taking less.
Bivol wants 20, and the DAZN people laughed.
Huh?
Bivol's manager asked for 20 mil. They 20, and they laughed at 20 mil. They're not paying this guy 20. They don't even want to pay him what they paid Jacobs and Kovalev, which was like 14, 15. They don't want to pay him anywhere close to that.
Yeah, man. I see something like Canelo doing some shit like, hey, like I'm gonna move up to 175 to fight Bivol again, but let me get me a tune up. So fight somebody at 175 that's not a threat.
Like a guy like Buatsi.
Man, somebody Gilberto Ramirez.
Oh, now that would be I think that would be a mouth-watering fight for the people over at DAZN, despite Sudo's last performance. But Sudo's moving up to a cruiser. He can't make 175 anymore.
Hey, who's this kid?
Not Willie School.
Nah, man. Cat's like 24-0 or something like that. 25-0.
Mbili?
Yeah. That joker. Is that something that can happen? He like 24-0 or something like that.
Possibly.
At 175.
He's got some weird promotional alignments, but maybe, and they could do maybe a fight in Canada, or maybe bring in Mbili to bring Mbili to Mexico. Now I'd watch that fight. I'd watch that fight.
I'm picking something like that because I think Canelo will get the guy. But check it out though, man. So if you going for that legacy, like I said, if you can't get the number of fights, try to get the back. Getting that 23-0 record would be nice. You know what I'm saying?
So what's sad about all this is I think everybody here to a man is in agreement that no matter what, in 23 and 24, we're not going to see Canelo in the ring with the Benavidez.
Well, no, that's not true. That's not. Everybody hasn't had the opportunity.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The only person that said it is you and Coach.
The Jared talked and then Coach talked. So
no, but they were responding.
They
were responding to what you said. So you think that he's going to fight Bivol. What's that? And then Coach.
So all right, Bivol. So then after a Bivol fight, you're going to say that he's going to be willing to take a better.
No. I'm saying, Red. We're just talking about who Canelo is going to fight on that date. I wanted to see what all the pundits.
Yeah. I'm sorry jumping on you then. So yeah, I say he's going to fight the Bivol with the built-in excuse.
I'm gonna say Mbili. It's easy, low pay, and you get that 23-0 record or 24, whatever he is.
Mbili.
The problem with Mbili is that Mbili is #1 in the WBC, and he would be leapfrogging David Benavidez to get that shot. And I don't see that would open up the WBC to a lot of. That's going to be tough for them to justify that, unless Canelo vacates. Now, Canelo vacates, then he can go ahead and fight Mbili. Or if he gets elevated to franchise, then he can go ahead and fight Mbili. Otherwise, Mbili is cutting a lot of Demetrius. is ranked number 1 in the WBA. Demetrius is also number 1 in the WBO.
Yeah.
David Morrell is the super champ in the WBA. Willie School is number 1 in the IBF. Yeah, he's vacating, guys. He ain't fighting none of these dudes. My answer, by the way, he doesn't fight. He doesn't fight in September.
Wow.
The Bivol talks break down. Bivol doesn't budge. He goes for undisputed with Benavidez. Canelo's left holding his dick. And what you're gonna see is Tank Davis. Tank Davis swoops in and steals that date. Tank Davis swoops in, and you're gonna see Tank Davis fight either Isaac Cruz in LA, or you're gonna see him fight the winner of Lomachenko and Devin Haney for that Cinco de Mayo date. Canelo stays home.
Already said that they won't allow Benavidez to fight Bivol.
Yeah, he says a lot of shit. He says a lot of shit. I don't see how. Bivol is a American citizen now, if I'm not mistaken. If you go to his box rec, not sure how accurate that is. Bivol is an American citizen, and Benavidez is a Canadian citizen. So they better have good lawyers, because I don't see. Bob Arum sits down and has a heart-to-heart with Mauricio. That fight gets made. You can't sit there and stand on some soapbox and talk about some political issue that neither one of these guys has anything to do with, right? That's not even headline news anymore. People don't even remember that there is a war in Ukraine anymore. It's completely out of the news cycle. So yeah, I don't see that. I think we do see undisputed pretty soon. I think those talks break down. I don't think Bivol's budget.
I hope we see that in September.
So this is what I think, that talks between Canelo and Bivol are going to stall. They're going to have some issues in there, and I'm going to throw in the monkey wrench. I think that Canelo is going to go ahead and fight Benavidez on that.
You're a dang old lie.
I think
I don't think that fight ever happened.
I think he is. I think he's gonna go ahead and he's not getting any younger. He's also looking at his drawing potential out there. And then why would you go and fight a big fight that's gonna beat on you and do this? I think that he is going to go ahead and I think Canelo has been at points, he has taken some chances, right? When he fought Floyd Mayweather at 23 years old.
That wasn't a chance. That was a win-win.
Yep.
He could have been.
Lara was a chance.
Lara was a chance. I think
when Jacobs, and he didn't want to fight Jacobs. They had to twist his arm to get him to fight Jacobs, was the words that I was told.
Even with Triple, he was no middleweight. When he fought Triple G, he fought a prime Triple G, even though he lost.
After Jay wasn't a prime Triple G. Triple G was 35 and 36, and Danny Jacobs had to show him it was safe.
How did he show it was safe?
Because Jacobs was regarded as a chinny fighter going into that fight. He had been starched before. He was coming off of cancer. He's a guy that's been wobbled and dropped, and he was able to take Triple G's best shot. And a lot of people thought Danny Jacobs might have been able to win that fight. So that was when he decided that he wanted to fight Triple G after Danny Jacobs showed him.
Are you saying that Danny Jacobs? I thought you were saying that Danny Jacobs showed that he was safe. And
no. Danny Jacobs showed Canelo that it was safe to fight Triple G. That's my observation. He took a chance against Lara. Lara was a chance, and I thought he got his eyeballs boxed out, but. Whatever, we've seen enough of this guy's scorecards. We know what the deal is.
No, I saw the fight live. I thought, and I lost some money on betting because I bet on Triple G. But he also fought Sugar Shane when he was near his prime and he was a young buck.
No, Triple G Shane was 40.
Yeah, Shane was old by the time.
And Shane started his career at 130 pounds, and he couldn't even knock Shane Mosley down.
Yeah, but where did Canelo Alvarez start his career at?
140 or
140.
Right, but the dude walks around at fucking whatever he wants is gigantic. You don't think he's a lot bigger than Shane Mosley?
At the they were both welterweights at the time, and he fought Sugar Shane, who had knocked out the monster of the welterweight division at the time.
That Margarito fight was years prior to him stepping in there with Canelo. And that was an undercard fight, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that was on a Floyd Mayweather undercard or some shit like that, dude. This guy's career has been carefully guided with kid gloves. It's been a very, very carefully engineered career. Does he have good names? He absolutely has good, incredible names on his resume. But as far as taking chances, the Lara fight, that was a chance that he took. And they saw what happened when you put him in there with a guy with Lara's skill set, and they said, never again. That's why they made Danny Jacobs have to agree to a rehydration clause. They almost did a catch weight with Danny Jacobs, if I'm not mistaken, but nobody was going for that because that was when Canelo was represented by Golden Boy and Danny was represented by Matchroom and Eddie Hearn at that time. And Eddie Hearn was, we ain't doing no catch weights. They were going to try and bring this dude down to like 158 or some shit like that and do a rehydration clause, but nobody went for that. But I can't prove that in court. That's just a little inside info that's just inside info that I have. But they did make Danny agree to a rehydration clause. Anyway,
I mean, I wouldn't argue against that, but I don't necessarily recall that.
Guys, I gotta run. I'm 20 minutes late for a class. Hopefully they started class.
No, yeah, we definitely went over, but all right, we're gonna sign off. This is Professor Nims signing off for the Casual Rand.
Peace.
Coach Dave.
Bro.
And Boston Jed. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll be back next week with another popping episode. Peace out.
Man. Great.